Is there a warning to the world from golf? All that Saudi cash that's been lavished on sport, are we seeing the end of vanity investments? This is what's being said and what isn't about the future of LIV Golf. Now, there's been no denial from the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund, PAF, that it's preparing to pull the plug on financial support for LIV. It's the Breakaway Rebel Series launched in 2022 by the Public Investment Fund, which is overseen by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Billions have been spent enticing some of golf's biggest names with signing on fees. Among those who defected from the long-established PGA and European tours, Bryson DeChambeau, Sergio Garcia, English duo Ian Poulter and Lee Westwood. Now, it can seem LIV has never managed to match the appeal of events like the Masters and Open with history, heritage and audiences. Accounts show they've lost over £1 billion bankrolled by PAF. More than 100,000 fans attended both events in Australia and South Africa recently. There's a LIV event underway now in Mexico City, but they still haven't denied there's a long-term threat to funding. A leaked memo to staff from CEO Scott O'Neill says, "Our season continues exactly as planned, uninterrupted and at full throttle." Note the emphasis on our season, and apparently telling players there's funding for 2026. That's not sounding very long-term. And then there's this from O'Neill. "While the media landscape is often filled with speculation, our reality is defined by the work we do on the grass." Calling it speculation is far from a denial, but his scope to speak is limited. He can't speak for PAF. And what of them and their almost $1 trillion of investments? Only silence, nothing to shut down such widespread talk. They're no longer willing to throw money at the golf project. We do know they are trying to sell stakes in LIV teams to diversify the reliance on PAF. And just this week, more widely, PAF announced their new strategy, a roadmap to 2030. What's missing is any mention of sport, unlike in previous plans. What they do say is the strategy focuses on maximising financial returns, strengthening investment efficiency and increasing private sector participation. That suggests tightening the purse strings, shifting away from grand loss-making projects for prestige into more profitable, commercially viable investments. There was already a sense the Saudis were scaling back sports investments even before the Iran war and all the economic repercussions, downsizing the neon futuristic desert megacity, abandoning plans to stage the Asian Winter Games in 2029. Now there will be an urgency to spend on defence of the country more, to align safety with diversifying the oil-rich economy, and yet sport has become so reliant on Saudi wealth, with lavish paydays in boxing taking the biggest fights to the kingdom. Cristiano Ronaldo leading football stars enticed by the riches to leave Europe's more prestigious leagues. But he was apparently unhappy with PAF's lack of transfer spending in January, again before the war. Now, we're never far from a link to Donald Trump. LIV events are staged at his American courses, and the golfing president last year even hosted talks to accelerate a peace-pact merger between the PGA and LIV. It never happened. This man, Yasser Al-Rumayyan, was there, the PAF governor and known to football fans as the chairman of Newcastle United. That's another strand of the Saudi sports portfolio. How much can Saudi Arabia now be spending on these sport power plays? Can LIV survive potentially being untethered from Saudi Arabia?